So this is the first tutorial for the second subsection of climate change. We're looking at the consequences of global climate change. So this first tutorial will look at water stored in ice in oceans and changing sea levels. The context here is climate change in the hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. So these two graphics show ice loss in two major ice sheet areas, Greenland on the left and Antarctica on the right. And as you can see by the graph, we're looking at massive losses of ice in terms of gigatons through this time period from 2002 to 2017. And yeah, we see in Antarctica quite a big amount of fluctuation, but the trend line is still significant ice losses, but not the same extent as what we're seeing in Greenland. Although there is uncertainty in Antarctica in the data, there's a lot more uncertainty about the amount of ice loss that's being experienced there. So if we look at some of the headline figures in terms of the losses within the cryosphere, and the cryosphere refers to the storage of water in ice. The biggest loss is the alpine glacial losses, mountain glaciers. We see 400 billion metric tons per year of loss since 1994. Greenland has seen 294 billion metric tons. And the Arctic itself has decreased in terms of the Arctic minimum, so the minimum coverage of ice within the year has decreased at a rate of 12.8% a decade since the 1970s. And the Antarctica area losing 127 billion metric tons per year. So the Arctic loss there can be seen in this right diagram. So if water and storage is being lost within the hydrosphere at the cryosphere, it's being gained within our oceans. So sea level rise is caused by two factors. It's that meltwater, but the largest factor is thermal expansion. So as the ocean temperature warms, the ocean expands, leading to sea level rise. And the graph here documents here since 1993 to the present day, or rather, I think 2017, 2018 in this graphic, we can see a rise of around 90 millimeters, 9 centimeters over that time period, with an average of 3.3 millimeters per year. So that rise being accounted for by both thermal expansion and the glacial losses that we were talking about earlier. When we look at an historical map like this one, we're seeing sea level change, sea level rise. And what we see is the spatial pattern is quite varied over time. And so there is going to be some quite significant localized differences with sea level rise. So sea level rise will be experienced very much at the global scale, but more pronounced at the local scale. So this shows past sea level rise and its spatial variation over the time period. A couple of things to note. The largest increase have been localized to major ice sheet regions. The tropics and the southern hemisphere have experienced greater sea level rise than the northern hemisphere. So when we start to look at the sources of sea level rise, this is a really interesting graphic. So the first thing that we see straight away is that thermal expansion here, the darker blue, is responsible for the majority of sea level rise. But we also see here in the lighter blue glaciers, but non-Greenland glaciers. So glacial melt providing a significant amount of meltwater into our oceans. Antarctic ice not really appearing beforehand, but just showing itself here. And again, there might be some uncertainty about that in terms of it's missing from the data here, but perhaps we don't have a full picture of Antarctic ice loss. And that starts to get us thinking about projections for the future in terms of sea level rise, and there is enormous amounts of uncertainty around that. What we've got here is we've got various modeled projections showing 3 different possible outcomes here in terms of emissions scenarios. So this is the low emissions RCP 2.6 scenario. And in the middle here, we've got a medium emissions scenario, and on the right, the very high emissions scenario. This is all coming out of the IPCC data. And as you can see, future sea level rise will depend on our future projected emissions scenarios, with the higher sea level rise being seen in the higher emissions scenario. But there remains huge uncertainty. So if I just read this at the bottom, these estimates may end up being very conservative. So a study by Professor Jonathan Bamber at the University of Bristol, he brought together a group of 22 experts to assess the views of the likelihood of different future sea level rise scenarios. And they found that a global sea level rise exceeding 2 meters by 2100 lies within the 90% uncertainty bounds for a high emission scenario. And that's more than twice the upper value seen in this IPCC AR5 measure. So great uncertainty about it, with interesting kind of feedbacks which we don't fully understand.